Greetings and welcome to another Super Secret Project sketch. This is Eric Whalen from Super Secret Project X. It's been a heck of a week. I'm a little tired. It's drizzly outside. It's gray.
Yep.
Yep. It is definitely no longer summer. Speaking of that, nice segue. Today I'm going to be sketching summer from Rick and Morty. I don't know how much ambition I've got, so I picked something simple, yet I feel as if I want to draw something simple, see if I can oomph it up a little bit, because she's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. She's like 6 or 8 circles. I mean, not including her teeth. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do summer.
That sounds bad.
Well, it's from Rick and Morty. I assume that's probably the right way of doing it. I am. You can tell I am not organized today. I am not organized today. Oh, wait, almost right there. We go.
Let's say normally you put your bookmark in where you are.
And I didn't. I didn't even get close. I got so into the scratch and sniff that I didn't put my diddle-a-doo.
So where's your page saver? Where is that?
The which one?
Didn't you have like a plastic?
Yeah.
Okay,
It's long. It's right here.
Oh.
She's still living in my sketchbook.
She should.
She's right there, where I can keep her preserved, hermetically sealed in my sketchpad. All right. I know, not creepy at all. Okay, yeah, that's looking about right. That's looking bright. That is looking super bright.
Yes.
Let me put a circle down. Whoop. Let me test that there. That is super bright. I'm not sure what's going on there. Pardon me, folks. I need to adjust my camera. Something is significantly wrong. So
It's not adjusting.
I know it is like the exposure is not behaving itself. So let me adjust that real quick.
Things are getting a little better.
Yeah, but it can't be a little better. It has to be.
Well, I'm saying just from this point of view, it looks like it went down just a little bit.
All right, there we go. And it's brightness, contrast. Backlight. I know, right? I feel so stupid.
And the stream is buffering. There we go.
I know.
Of course.
All right, exposure. There we go. I clicked one thing wrong earlier, and I feel dumb. I feel dumb. So apply.
We're all learning. There
Yeah,
we
I
go.
clicked the autofocus off, and I got them switched. It's dumb. I get it. But it's done. It's fixed, and here I go. Notice how you can see the circle I drew earlier. That is important because of this sexy action happening right now. Woo! Awesome. Now let's get on to summer.
We're getting a lot of lag on the stream now, unfortunately.
All right, well, we'll see what happens. Nothing I can do about it. I'm not about to... Not about to worry about things I can't do anything about. All right. Yeah, it's funny. There's this and it's not one style. It's just this is sort of an example of it. Like Pixar sort of does this. There's this like kind of elemental style, which is like, the eyes can result in almost a perfect circle. You can animate it with the top and bottom eyelids. Mouth can form a variety of shapes. I mean, Pixar does this. I mean, they all do it in a slightly different way. But so does Rick and Morty, which is why their super simple faces can do all these wonderful expressions. And it's really funny. If people look at it, I think a lot of people that don't get cartooning will go like, "So what?" And I'm like, "Oh, it's not a so what. It's actually really an effective way of doing facial expressions."
It's well, actually, if not one of the top, the main top thing of cartooning is learning anatomy so you can properly break it and simplify it.
Yeah,
And Rick and Morty is one of those styles that is so simplified,
yeah,
it's almost complicated in its simplicity, which is funny because a lot of the fanboys who really love it will say that about the show itself. Oh, you just don't get it. You're not smart enough to get Rick and Morty.
I don't think it's a matter of people being smart enough about stuff or not. I think it's just some things are easily overlooked, and with super simple cartooning, I think a lot of people that don't understand cartooning don't get that if a super simple cartoon is done just right, it's like at optimal efficiency.
Yeah.
You know, it
And
does everything it needs to do.
And that in itself is pretty much cartooning the. I'm trying to think.
Yeah, we're a little slow today, folks.
Brain is just like neat, 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 neat.
Yeah.
But it can be said about cartooning itself. It's just the fact of its simplicity, and I think that's one of the reasons why so many people, unfortunately, still think that cartoons are for kids because it's so simple.
Well, yeah, well, simple. You know, one of the best attributes of simple can be, it could just simply be called elegant. Now, I'm not necessarily saying elegant like, you know, that cheese ball fine lady in a dress with all the makeup and BS. I'm saying elegant as in it has a simple beauty,
Yeah,
and it works well, and that is elegant.
basically just a clean aesthetic in a sense.
Mm. And an effective aesthetic. You know, it's not like burdened down with gunk. You know, it's I was a teen in the 90s, and there was a lot of really cool stuff happening in comic books back then. And a lot of people just lose it over certain artists and stuff, and they're like, these guys are gods. I'm like, they were good. I'm not saying they weren't good. But also, I think what happened too was these overly complicated styles that depended upon all this line artwork that didn't need to be there. Sometimes it did. Some of the styles it really worked well, but some of it was just visual noise.
Yeah.
And it's one of the reasons why really good anime does the same thing, because the Japanese use really clean, simple aesthetics. I'm not saying it's exactly the same thing, but it's close enough, and that's why, you know, I have a tendency of illustrating personally in a little bit more complicated way, and it's one of the reasons why I'm doing this is I'm clearly not right about everything. And so it's kind of nice just going back into this stuff and going like, do I really need to do blank, 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 and blank? Can't I just do blank and blank? You know, and try to go, do I really need to be going out this far? Do I really need to, you know? And sometimes the answer is yes. And other times I'm like, I feel as if maybe I'm just overthinking, and, you know, stuff like the artwork from Rick and Morty, Steven Universe, you know,
That's another good one.
you know, they're just they kind of boil everything down to.
Phineas and Ferb, literal.
Oh wow, yeah,
the
Phineas
shape-
and Ferb.
The shape language in Phineas and Ferb was just amazing. Like the fact of you being able to recognize everything and stuff, and that's one of my favorite examples of just clean shape language when it comes to character recognition and just the show itself. I mean, and that's one of the things for anybody who's listening out there who may be new into cartooning and want to go into illustration, cartooning, animation. One of the things that they will teach you that is important is it's called shape language, which is basically making your characters, let's say known. Basically,
Readable.
if you make your character a silhouette, is it still recognizable?
Yeah.
And like good shape language is crucial when it comes to character development or character design, I should say.
Well, a little bit of character development too. I mean, character design and character development can work together. But yeah, that was like, for example, I'm still disappointed that Valve hasn't given us more Team Fortress stuff, but Team Fortress 2, and yeah, a while ago, I get it. But when it came out, they made a huge deal in their design, and it was because of gameplay, but it was also because they were really counting on their characters being strong. They did huge silhouette, work, and they really, if you really study all the characters, every single one of their silhouettes is completely alien to the next one.
And they're recognizable.
And they're totally
And
recognizable because of it.
I love the design element of Team Fortress, and I love the character designs because first of all, I'm a huge toy fan. I love toys, and they made the characters look like
Toys,
toys,
yeah.
and that's one of the things I love. Like, if you give me a character that looks like a toy, I'm just like, okay, first of all, you hooked me right there. And but just the fact of the characters themselves, the way they designed them, just the personalities they made along with it, you can tell such a huge story in just the shape language. And I mean, you can have a character that's standing up straight, and that same character slouching down becomes a completely different character. And it's like TF2 of Valve, their designers, to me, just knocked it out of the park with those characters. And
Well, it was mostly one guy is the funny thing.
mm-hmm.
And his illustrations were beautiful. I loved his work.
Yeah,
I'm actually disappointed that just sort of stopped there because his look was so good. Everything about Team Fortress 2 was really nice.
Well, not only that, but I am disappointed that it took them almost 6-7 years to start getting merch for the game.
I don't understand Valve.
Yeah, and
I just don't get them.
One of the things that they did along with the game was they were putting out little comics online. It took them forever to take those comics and put them all into a big compilation and put them out, which I'm like, okay, that's cool, but that they did such a small run, it's hard to find.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, that's cool. But what I would have really loved, and again, one of my things I love, art books. I would have loved to have had an art of TF2. Heck, just the art of Team Fortress in general. Just bring
They had like sort of that stuff, but I don't think they ever had a real complete one. Not that I remember anyway.
Yeah, I mean that's like I want one. I mean, I would gladly give them money for an art book for like design wise and characters and all that stuff, because it was, like I said, I love the character design and I love studying that stuff, and it's just fun to look at in general.
What's the funny thing about Valve? They don't want to seem to take my money, and that is confusing to me. I'm just like, you're a business, right? Y'all are there to make money, So I guess you don't have to release product. Oh, scratch. Don't get it. But whatever.
That's what you want to do, I suppose.
Yeah, I don't quite follow. It doesn't quite make sense to me.
And
But
they basically had a franchise that would pretty much print them money.
yeah,
I mean, I don't know if maybe they tried and just didn't catch it. Because I mean, like I said, with the merch, with the figures that they released, the action figures, those came out, like I said, almost like 6 or 7 years after the game had been going, and then they came out and then they disappeared for a couple years, and then I found them again later on. I'm like, oh, they brought them back, and I snagged a couple, but still, they're just still hard to find, and the price point on them was a little expensive, but that's like price points on deluxe action figures are going up anyway. But
well, it was like, for example, I know we're off Rick and Morty and we're on Valve, but what are you gonna do?
we segued into it.
Is their Valve Steam controller, and I was kind of getting to the point where I was kind of wanting to just do some lazy boy gaming, and I'm not talking like stuff you get on the PS4. I don't have a PS5 yet. I'm just talking about getting like some of the games off of Steam for example, the lazy ones where you can just sit there with the controller and just doodle around and be stupid. Sometimes my brain can't handle more than that. So I was like, you know what? That Steam controller is getting to be a better and better idea. I can get their setup. It's not too expensive, blah, blah, blah. I looked it up. They have all the videos and the schematics, and you can do this, and you can play your Steam games on your your living room television and your lazy boy, and you can be a big fat gaming turd. I'm like, yeah, that's exactly what I want. So I checked, I'm like, oh, I'm going to buy this. It's no longer available. So you guys developed an entire system to play your games on my TV with a controller and everything. Got it marketed, ready to rock and roll, you sold it, and then you went, we're done. I mean, it was like, I don't think it was out for a year or two, and that's when I checked on it, and it was like already out. Now, I might be off on the dates a little bit there, but I do not get them. I don't get them at all. And believe me, I'm trying, but it just, they've created so many great games. Like, I don't even care about Half-Life anymore. I've been waiting for a sequel now for like, I don't know, 15 years or whatever it is, and I'm like, I don't even care. Oh, I'm sorry, they did have a sequel. Then they released it onto the VR system, which, by the way, I'm not against VR systems, but I'm not going to spend, I think it's like $600, something like that, just so I can play the next Half-Life game. Are you kidding me? Are you freaking kidding me? And so I just don't. I don't get what they're doing. I'm like, you have people that want to give you money. Why don't you let them? It's just like, give me Team Fortress 3. Give me the next Half-Life on a system that I can play that doesn't require VR equipment.
All right, I give them respect for this. They basically took a lot of the concept, some of the concept art, a lot of the res files, put them on their website and said, here, they're free for anybody who wants them. You can make your own stuff out of them.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, like that's really neat.
But I want Team Fortress 3.
Yeah.
I just do.
I'm loving the concept for the soldier.
Oh, yeah, some of the early designs were really neat. That was one of the neat ones. That was before they nailed stuff. And I think some of their original designs, I'm not saying we're better, but I'm saying we're legitimately cool. Yeah. I'm glad they ended up with the ones in the game that they did. But like that soldier design you just showed me, yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, and I mean, all of them are pretty good. I mean, I'm glad they went with what they went with.
Yeah.
But
it's a little sleeker looking in the final version.
And like, yeah, some of the stuff that they have on there, I like the way it came through, but I like the concept all of it. I mean, they were, obviously these people know what they're doing. They had a Tommy gun nail gun.
Yes. Yes.
That's pretty good.
But yeah, like Valve for the longest time was one of my favorites, and it's not that I don't like them anymore. It's just that you're not releasing anything, Valve. Come on now. Oh, we got dudes. What up, you savage?
Hey, Joe.
My favorite part of the weekend. Right on.
Nice, right
Hey,
on.
Joe, how's it going?
Thank you.
We're doing Summer from Rick and Morty. It's been a heck of a week, so we might be a little stupid.
Yeah, brains are not functioning at capacity.
Oh, but yeah, no, Valve confuses me. Like, for example, you look at Blizzard, and they've turned into a big corporate monster, but I understand them. Valve confuses me because if it wasn't for Steam, I think they'd be out of business. I think that's why they don't release games, you know? Stupid is what I'm here for. Yeah, no, I hear you. There's nothing like some big dumb fun, you know? But yeah, we were just talking. The reason why we're on Valve is because we were talking about Team Fortress 2, because Team Fortress 2 had really good silhouettes and what is called shape language. And that is a thing that Rick and Morty has, being they have very good solid shapes that are super easy to read. Their silhouettes are solid. That's why I'm doing Summer, because sometimes, no matter how complicated I can actually illustrate, sometimes a real challenge actually is in simplicity. Plus, Summer is funny as hell. I mean, that's the thing that I liked about her in the series. They took her and they're like, yep, and I'm certain they did it on purpose because it just flows that way. Is they're like, oh, here's Rick and Morty, and here's the dumb older sister that never amounts to anything. You know, and so they kind of make fun of her, and she stays in the background and blah blah blah, and she steadily inches her way in and inches her way in and inches her way in, and then her and Rick go on an adventure together, which was great, and then she's boom solidly part of like the show. You know, I mean, really a part, and she's funny because she's normal, mostly normal. Valve owes us a new Left 4 Dead. Yeah, thank you. Left 4 Dead is another one. I'm like, guys, Half-Life, Team Fortress, and Left 4 Dead. I'm not saying you have to do like, and Portal 3. For God's sake, Portal 3. Portal 1, amazing. Portal 2, blew my skin clear off my body. I mean, I was sitting there like, you know, and there's just nothing but, you know, red giblets and stuff just hanging off me. It was amazing. It was such a great game. And then they were like, you know what? No more. Team Fortress 2. I think I have over 1,000 hours in Team Fortress 2. I haven't played it in a number of years now, but still. Love that game. Nothing. Half-Life. I remember it being awesome, but the last time I played it was, 15 years ago or whatever now, and I just don't even think my brain can recall many details other than I enjoyed it. Yeah. It's like, guys, get off your butts. I mean, come on, be professionals. Yeah, and I don't mean to be a jerk, you know, but come on.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with them. Haven't heard much if they're doing anything new aside from trying to focus on VR stuff, but...
Well, it was the thing is I actually early on I was thinking about getting into video games before I knew what the video game industry looked like, and so I researched Valve, and all I could find was the most nightmare description of how their business model works. It is like the biggest junior high school environment where there's no bosses or anything. There's just people trying to gain clout to create games, and then they'll partially create games, and then people then will go like, oh, we don't like Phil's game anymore, so Phil's game stops, and you know, and then it's like Phil's over there going like, dude, what about my game? And everyone's like, no, we don't want to do Phil's game, we're doing Billy's game. And they go over to work on Billy's game, and then Billy has gas, and they're like, Billy's smelly, so we're not going to work with Billy anymore. There goes his game. I'm just going like, this explains a lot about why I can't get games out of Valve. You know? Dang it. I mean, is it too much to ask? The funny thing was, what is it called? Overwatch. Overwatch came out, and I went, see, Valve, see? Blizzard caught you. They picked up where you left off because you weren't doing anything, and they made a pretty good game. Problem with Overwatch was suffered from Blizzard-itis, where they have this thing where you can't just play a game and win. They create a game where it's massive landslides one way or the other over and over and over. So when I was playing it, it was just getting steamrolled constantly because you didn't know the tricks how to steamroll people, and it got so boring I stopped playing. Meanwhile, Team Fortress 2 was still excellent.
Yeah, which once again with Overwatch, I love the characters in Overwatch. I love the design work. I love I love the way it looked overall. It looked like a really fun game, but just
And it played like a really fun game.
yeah. Just unfortunately, just like you said, it suffered from blizzarditis, and I was like, okay,
Yeah.
that's fine. I'm going to.
Now.
Oh, I was like, well, I was saying with Overwatch.
Oh yeah, Overwatch. Yeah.
I was like, I like the character designs and stuff, and I like the way I liked overall how it looked and how the characters looked, and.
Oh yeah, no,
they-
it's
they
the
got-
design is great.
Yeah, and they actually got me to go, oh, okay, if I ever find any action figures of whatever characters, I'd actually pick them up and stuff.
Yeah.
But aside from that, that's pretty much all the interest I had. I mean, there's an art book that came out that I've been wanting to pick up.
That's the thing. Everything about Overwatch was perfection,
Yeah.
except for the one major thing:
Yep.
the gameplay.
I liked it in concept.
Because I'm serious, I should not be able to play a game where I step out and die within 3 seconds of stepping out of spawn without ever knowing what happened to me. And this happens repeatedly over and over, and a good chunk of the enemy team is on the other side of the board. You're just getting absolutely mauled by one or two people doing very particular things, and you just go like, I just want to play.
And maybe they
I don't have to win, I just want to play.
maybe they fixed that since then. I don't
No,
know. if it's been a
that's
while.
how their games work. That's why I stopped playing StarCraft. That's why I stopped playing Warcraft. I played one of the last times I played StarCraft online. Yeah, I know that's a long time ago, but still, they designed their games so much that it's not played strategically; it's played logistically. So you'd sit there and somebody go, you do this and 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 this order at that speed, and you'll be 15% ahead of everyone else, and boom, they will never win. And it's true.
You just click, 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 click.
And I believe it was called clicks per second.
Yeah.
It was like, and meanwhile, so like in the game I was in, I was playing Terrans, and I had a little ramp going down. I had my little base. I got my first, not barracks, bunker. Got my first bunker up. I had 4 Marines in it. I was at a very basic point in a Terran gameplay.
Right.
I mean, literally that early on. The Zerg had their Air Force up and hit me en masse, something that should have taken them 7 minutes later in the game to have gotten to, at fastest. And I was playing some Korean player. I'm not like getting on Korean players. I'm just saying it was just some dude.
They perfect the
Yeah, but
art
they're
of
like
doing that.
maniacal
Yeah.
on this
Yes, but They
stuff.
perfect the art of doing that. Yeah.
And I'm going like, I just want to play games,
Yeah.
guys. I don't want to sit there and be like,
And they're the ones that die playing that game like that.
Yeah,
Playing those
no.
types of games, unfortunately.
no, I want to live very long and enjoy video games. I don't want to burn out as some kind of a weird example of what not to do with your life, you know. And this is nothing against people who play video games professionally. Good for you if you do it. It's not my thing. That you're playing to win. I play to win, but I play to have fun, and then if I win, that's awesome. So if I lose and have fun, I'd much rather lose and have fun than win and not have fun. And it's very easy to get to the point where you're so good that you're winning, but you're not having fun. I just want to play and have fun. If like for example in Overwatch I'm playing and I don't get to play
That's
because
not
you're just
fun.
getting mauled constantly, and sometimes you don't even know what exactly happened.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry. That's zero fun. Zero fun. Yeah, games like that don't interest. Exactly right. Like for example, one of the games I play right now is Crossout. Love Crossout.
Explain for those who don't know what it is.
What?
Explain
It is. Imagine Mad Max, where you get to create your own vehicles, but instead out of like 5 or 6 parts, out of like 80 parts, and you really Lego your vehicles together. And so you create your own Doom machine, and you spray diesel powered carnage across your enemies. And so it's kind of like Legos and a team-based mass destruction game where everyone's in vehicles blowing stuff. It's great. It's a lot of fun. The problem is the people that take it real seriously, zero freaking fun to play against because they just maul you. And they maul you often in ways that's not even... I'm like, are they even having fun? That was so cheap. That, I mean, are they just sitting there all tingly going like, I am the god of hellfire! And they're just like tapping a button over and over again. I'm going like, I want to have fun. Fun. Yeah, that stuff confuses me. I just don't get it. I don't get why people act like that. I don't get games like that. And no offense to people who professionally play video games. I don't get why people would professionally play video games, because it would be taking something that I would love and then just turning it into something that I'd hate. You know, and I don't mean to be mean to anybody. I just go like that. Just it looks. I don't want to watch professional video games because I'm going like it doesn't even look fun.
Well,
It's just a bunch of people taking it way too seriously.
Well, it's the same reason why. That's why they call it esports. It's the same reason why people do sports and stuff like that.
Sports are bad for you.
It's they take something that they love, and then they just take it to the next level. It's
And then they just ruin it and make money.
well, that's
The make money part is fine. I'm just the ruining part that I have an issue with.
that's how you feel. Though they feel it
Yep.
differently,
And that's fine. Yeah, no, that's like I said. I am not judging. I just look at it and I'm like, I just don't get it. You know, and I don't mean to be mean. I just go like, oh, okay.
Yeah, and for those who do, I mean, it's good for them, and that's their thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
yeah, and like I said, it's I'm not judging. I just there's like I love games, but there's gaming cultures out there that deeply confuse me. I'm gonna give her a bigger tongue than normal.
this is why most pros on casual play. Even in fighter games, pros kind of ruin the game for casuals. Corporations ruin sports with sponsorships. Yeah, because they basically take something that should just be an enjoyable sit down, have fun, goof around with your buds and all, or just goof around.
Yeah.
And they just
Yeah. Or the people that they get their ego wound up in it. Now, I get frustrated at times because I'm wanting to have fun and I'm wanting to relax and stuff. So sometimes I do get a little frustrated and mad because I'm just wanting to just relax, and like there's people online that won't let me. So yeah, I do get a little frustrated from time to time. But there's people out there like legitimately their egos are wrapped up in whether or not they win or lose. And I just go like, this is a game. I'm like, what are you doing with your life? This is a game. You know, you're supposed to be giggling right now, you know, stuffing like jelly babies in your mouth or something, you know, just what are you doing?
well, again, for those people, if that is their only thing that
I feel sorry
makes
for
them
them.
feel accepted. I mean, especially nowadays with a lot
I
of
feel
social
sorry for
media
them.
and all that stuff. I mean, and if that's what's going to, if that's what gets them, as long as they're not being a douche about it or so. I mean,
But that's what I mean is the people that are doing that usually are like really being unpleasant, and I just sit there going like the weirdest one. This idea had never occurred to me, and this was years back when I was playing Team Fortress 2, which by the way I have seen some stunning Team Fortress 2 players. I don't even think I've seen the best, but this one guy. It was actually a bunch of guys, but one in particular, they were all friends playing together. These guys were wiping the floor with everybody over and over and over. It was to the point where I was trying to have fun, just slowing them down. So part of the time I was actually having fun because I was trying to trick them and kind of up my game a little bit and stuff. But the thing that threw me, and it deeply threw me, is that they were sore winners. They would win, and then they would complain about how that was no fun and how everyone sucked and blah, 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 blah.
Okay.
And I just went, okay, I don't agree with sore losers, because if you're being a sore loser, you're playing the game for the wrong reason. But it's even weirder to be a sore winner.
Yeah.
Like, sore winners are like so paradoxical. They seem like an indication of mental illness, is what it seems like to me. And I'm not saying that to be mean. I'm saying that like, what the heck?
Well,
Like, I just do not understand.
Well, they're being greedy because it's like, you won. What more do you want?
Yeah. And then you try to make everyone feel like crap after you've beaten the crap out of them.
Oh, hey Al, Al's joining.
Hey, Al, how's it going, man?
I can understand watching fighting games. Some of the things that the players pull off are freaking amazing. And
Yeah. They are.
Yeah.
Yeah, on the same note, and I actually made this mistake years back playing with some friends, is I played so many fighting games. I'm not a huge fighting game guy, but I played a lot of them, at least years back. That there's this tendency, obviously, of specific archetypes of fighting characters, and usually they work off of a similar formula. One of which is, it's like the spam character. And like you'd hit a button, and they'd do 2 or 3 hits. And so if you button mash, it's just like, and just limbs, and it looks like this. It's just like you can't get in. And I can't remember who it was. One of my friends beat me with that, and everyone was hanging out and having fun, and I wasn't thinking about it. I don't normally hang out with a lot of these guys, and they're all great guys, but I just don't normally do it. And I was just like, have you guys noticed that there's always this character that's, and this was after I got beaten by it, so I wasn't thinking that I would insult anybody by it, but I think I accidentally did. But I was being serious. I was like, everyone knows like there's always this one really unfair character where you hit a button and they do like 9 hits, and then you hit the next button and those 9 hits are like now 18 hits, and and they're super weak when that opening happens. That's their trade-off.
Yeah.
So anyone good at playing them is just good at keeping that opening very tiny, and then they just beat the tar out of you. And it's just stuff like that where I just go like, and I didn't mean to like tick anyone off like that. I'm certain I did.
You were making an observation, and if they took
Some people don't like observations while they're hanging out. I think they might have taken it a little personally, which I don't blame them. I can see why. Yeah, and I've known guys like that type of gamer, and they will play the cheapest stuff, and then they'll be all proud of themselves. And we were a different group playing with some family at one point in time, and we were playing a Gundam game where you got to play the Gundams, and in one of the Gundams, the cheapest freaking thing I have ever seen, its weapon was a one-shot kill weapon. No, seriously. All it had to do was hit you once. I don't even know why they put it in the freaking multiplayer. It made 0 sense. So, I can't remember who it was. Anyways, he would pick this character over and over, and then he would just win in like 8 seconds over and over, always throwing up his hands like he's a big guy or whatever. And I just sat there and I didn't know what to make of it, because I'm going like, okay, not only does that take 0 skill to do, so you shouldn't be impressed with yourself, but everyone in the room isn't impressed with you, and no one but you is having fun. So I'm lost. Why are you doing this? And I just don't get that. It's like, why are you playing? Because it's not to have fun with other people. It's just to
win.
Is it status? Because this is a video game. That's not really status. That's sad. And I'm not trying to be insulting. I was just sitting there deeply confused at that moment. I'm like, what are you doing?
One of my favorite moments, and this was, I'm dating myself here, of course, aging myself. Oh, I'm a little fart.
I've been dating myself for years.
But when Street Fighter 2 first came out, and those who know me, I am a huge Street Fighter 2 fan.
Well, it was one of the first really amazing fighting games.
Yeah,
I mean,
again, like I said,
if not the first.
It wasn't the first. It was the first next gen, because before that it was regular Street Fighter.
Yeah, but I don't consider those. I do, but I don't.
Oh, they are fighting games.
They are fighting games. Yes, you're right.
This one was the one that basically brought a
well, it upped it by like 8 levels.
That's what I'm saying. It was the next generation of it, and brought the true tournament style.
Well, plus it had really good characters, and yeah.
And again, I love character design. And
yeah, that's huge.
And so, little like teenage me was at the mall back when malls still existed. And malls had arcades too. The game was, of course, right in the front so everyone could see it, and there was a huge crowd. And so I'm like, oh, what's going on here? Because I think my mom was shopping or somebody, so I was like, oh, I'm going to go to the arcade for a little bit. She's like, okay, go ahead. So I went up there and I was like, what's this new thing? So I kind of muscled my way through.
What's this
like,
new thing?
Yeah, and little tiny teenage me comes pushing through, and I'm like, oh, this looks like a cool thing, and so I'm like, oh, this looks neat, and so of course, gamer culture, you put your 2 quarters up in the line for the next, for I got next and all that, so I did that, and the dude that was beating everybody just kind of gives me this look of just like, and so I put my 2 quarters in.
I'm gonna beat a little girl.
Yeah.
I'm a stud.
Yeah, pretty much. And
What the
of course,
hell?
I looked and saw the female characters because I'm all about the female characters.
I looked and
Chuck-
saw the female character, and I was all about the female character.
Anyway, what game is this? Oh, this was Street Fighter 2, and so I put my quarters in and all that, and I picked Chun-Li because I was like, oh, there's a girl fight. It was sweet, so I
Yep.
picked her, and I kicked this dude's butt first time.
Chun-Li's good at that.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't even know what I was doing. This was literally my first time playing anything like this. And I whipped the dude.
Oh, so you got like an endorphin blast.
Yeah, and he just stared at me. And instead of walking away to let somebody else take their chance, he immediately grabbed 2 more quarters and put them in, and then wiped the floor
Dude,
with me.
no.
Yeah,
the line. You get
exactly.
back in line.
Exactly. And, yeah, pretty much. And so he was, yeah, and so he was so mad. He just completely didn't even go by gamer rules and just put his butt back. And then he kicked my butt the next one after that. And I was like, okay, that was cool. I had fun because I'm like, oh.
Yeah, that's the point, is
Yeah.
to have fun.
But yeah, and I chuckled because here was this little 5 foot, probably 14, I want to say at the time, 8-year-old little black chick barely can see over the console. And this probably 6 foot something dude just staring down at me like I insulted his mom just because I beat him in a game.
It's sad. I don't get that
And I was
stuff.
I was
at
having
all.
fun because I'm like, hey, this is a neat game. And so yeah, after that, I would, whenever we go to the mall, I'd pop in my quarters and all that, and I'd play a few rounds. And I'm not super good, but I was like, I had fun with it.
Yeah. Well, and to me, that's what it's about, is people should just be having fun with it. The rest of life sucks. That's the point of these things. Have fun. It's not to beat your hairless concave chest and declare you're the man. That is so stupid. It's just have fun.
Well, and that's unfortunately what happens with anything that has a competitive edge to it. There's always going to be somebody
Competitive
who
stuff
wants
sucks.
to be the best.
And I play games, and I think
Yeah.
competitive stuff
Oh,
sucks.
absolutely.
It ruins stuff.
Somebody's not a bad character. Old school arcade beef. Dudes can't lose. Dudes can't lose. That's the name of my next band.
Chun-Li
Dudes
was
Can't
absolutely not a bad character.
Lose. I love her.
She was probably now the precursor to that spam type character I was talking about, but she never was that. She was just freakishly fast. And so the spam characters, when those came in, it would just be like you'd hit a button and Chun-Li would hit them 9 times. It's like, no, you could hit somebody 9 times with Chun-Li, but you had to hit 9 buttons to do it, you know?
Her flying kick. Yeah,
Well, flying kick and then pack, and then a sweep, and then you'd stomp on them. I mean, you could really mess someone up.
Well,
But
to me, that character was the alien version. That was
which one?
I said that the spam character for me in the original Street Fighter 2, that was oh crap, come on brain, fighter dude with the claws.
Yeah. Vega.
Yeah, Vega. To me, that was because he was so fast. And
Well, he was absurd.
another thing.
And plus, he had these moves where you think he's going away from you, and then he lands back on top of you, and
And my rage quit because unfair play moment was when Street Fighter came over into console, and we went to visit my cousins in Chicago and stuff, and they had a Genesis, and so we were playing Street Fighter on the Genesis, and at the time, since the Genesis only had the D-pad and then had the 3 buttons,
sure.
we didn't find out that you could actually because you have 3 buttons. Okay, do you punch or kick?
Sure.
And we're like, well, how do you do either? And so we didn't realize that you had to hit the select button or the
To
start
switch them?
button, yeah, to switch them out and stuff. So okay, well, at least we now know. But once we figured that out, we were like, okay, now we can actually kick and stuff, and kick and all that because we were just punching. And so my cousin, he was playing Dhalsim. And
I'm never good at him, but I loved him.
yeah, but he learned how to do Dhalsim's stretch and hook kick, where he stretches your legs.
Those are so cool.
And he would flip you onto the other side of the screen.
Yep.
So when he learned how to do that, that's all he would do.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, we're trying to play the game here, and he would just constantly just keep doing it.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
dude.
cheap and stupid.
And so after a while, like me and my other his brother, my other cousin, we just stopped playing because we're like,
Yeah, that's my point. Is
Yeah.
why would you do that? Because people will inevitably stop playing with you.
yeah. And
because
that's
what's
what
the point?
Did. We put the controllers down. We just walked away and like went and got some food or something like that.
Yeah, it's lame.
Chun-Li was my go-to. Yeah,
She was great.
she's always, because first of all, being a chick who loves video games and seeing a chick in a video game, heck yeah, that was that. I can honestly say Chun-Li imprinted herself on me as a teenage girl growing up who loved strong women characters. She was like, honestly, she imprinted on me, and she will always be one of my top favorite fighting characters.
Oh, she's
Alright.
she's one of the most archetypal fighting
Yeah.
characters there is.
Yeah, she is actually nicknamed the queen of fighting of female fighting
Yeah, well,
characters.
she not only was, if not the first, she was one of the best still developed ones. Period. She's just a great
I
character.
think she was if I remember, she was.
I think she was the
She
first.
was the first major female. Yeah, she was the first major female fighting character. I mean, you had female characters in games, but they were just kind of like the scrollers, like with
Yeah, they were silly.
Well, no, I'm saying just the basic scrollers, like Metroid with Samus, and like other than that, you had like Princess Peach in the Mario game with Mario 2 and all that. But like an actual playable like female fighting character who was taking on with the guys and all that.
Yeah.
I was just like, that's my jam right there. And again, with the characters, once more, it was like playing toys.
Yeah.
And I was all about that. But yeah, she was. And the sad thing is, to this day, I have all types of Chun-Li figurines, but I do not have a Chun-Li action figure. And I am so sad because when they were made, I did not have the money to buy one. And then when I finally got enough money to buy one, I finally got a job, they stopped making them. Yeah. And all the reissues that they do, they're now like $80, $100. I'm just like, oh man. Because I have a Ryu figure, because Ryu is my second favorite Street Fighter character. And have one of him, but I'm just like, am I going to get a Chun-Li figure someday? Tear. But yeah, anyway. Video games. Or I should say Rick and Morty is what we're
Well, we weren't really doing Rick and Morty. We were just doing Summer and anything we could attach to her.
Oh yeah, it started out with simple character designs and all that stuff. So.
Oh, X-Men: Children of the Atom was a great game.
Let's go X-Men! Let's go X-Men! I took us up and beat everyone that was there. There was one dude that kept playing, kept trying to take me off the machine. He couldn't. Eventually, the game finally beat me, and my friend pulled me to the side.
That's funny. But yeah, and people can be competitive. If that's how you are, that's fine. I'm not judging you.
Mm-hmm.
I just look at competitive stuff and I just don't get it, because I'm going like, you'd rather not have fun and win than have fun. It just doesn't make sense to me.
To me,
And then people like beat their chest and go, look how big I am, and my first thought is I don't care. So I'm like, okay.
That particular sect of stuff, that is for that. I'm sure they probably play games on their free time to have fun and all that, and that's their own personal time. But the competition is the competition.
And competition is flawed.
Well, that's unfortunately your opinion.
Exactly right. Exactly right. That's my point. That's my opinion, and I'm not changing it because people out there are uncomfortable with me having a different opinion than them.
Yeah. I mean, it's the exact same thing with any sport. Like they'll play to have fun and goof around and all that, but when it
That's
comes
what
to
they
the
should
actual
be
game
for,
play,
but they're
yeah.
not. Is the problem.
Just as he was so shocked that the dude put in over $10. Holy crap!
Oh. Now I've put $10 into a game before, but that's usually because, you know,
It's
it
cool.
wasn't out of spite. It was because like I'm finally gonna beat this game, and then I was like, ah, you know, and then I had a good old time for an hour or whatever, and it was worth the $10. And so it was like me doing that instead of going to a movie.
I did that with $5. Like my sisters, they like we went to either Chuck E. Cheese or someplace. It was like somebody's birthday or something, so they brought me along. And so I was too old for the birthday crowd, but not old enough to do anything else. And so I saw that there was the Ninja Turtle 4-player game.
That's a good one.
I love that one. So I was like, ooh. And so my sister, they gave me $5 to play the video, to play whatever games I want. And so I literally changed that sucker out, have $5 of quarters in my big old in my pocket.
Just have this big old mass
Yeah.
of weight in your pants. Yeah.
Exactly. And I was just feeding that sucker, and I beat the game with the $5. I'm like, yeah, because it was all by myself. Like, yeah, cool. Occasionally somebody else would come in and join me, but they would leave. And yeah, I beat the game. And so I came back, and my sisters were like, well, oh, where's your money? And they're like, well, I spent it on the game. And they were like surprised.
You gave it to me.
Yeah,
to
I'm just
do
like,
that.
that's what I was supposed to do with it, right? But yeah, anyways, like that was my sinking money into a game, which I thought was awesome. But because from that, I actually learned a lot of the tricks of the Ninja Turtle game and stuff. I was like, okay, figured out how to do this, know how to do this now, yada yada yada. Because I'd either play Michelangelo or Raphael.
I played Donatello.
I liked Raphael because he was the only one that could do this really cool roll and stick with it and
that was
roll
good.
and kill with his side.
If I remember correctly, I liked it because Donatello did that aerial like staff swap.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
He had some reach. Yeah, I like Mikey also because he would like do this real flail. And
yeah, yeah. It's funny. A lot of those games I have huge love and memory for, but I don't think I'm really interested in playing them again.
When we went to the barcade from your job, when they had the gathering with that,
Yeah.
and I played the X-Men game, both the X-Men 4-player and the Simpsons 4-player, and I was like, oh, I had fun, and of
Sure.
course they had the Turtles too, and I played that. Unfortunately, I re-injured my messed up wrist.
It'll do that. Yeah.
And for about 2 weeks, my wrist was just useless. Like getting old sucks. That was the fun of arcades, taking your money and beating the game. Yeah.
Yeah, but you walked in knowing it was going to happen. So
Yeah, and it's just like basically you got to go into a
Yeah.
Double Dragon.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but basically you got to go into a place where you could play comic books or play
Sure.
with like live action toys and just escape from the world for a bit.
Plus, and I know that they were the early on versions, but you got to play 3D games. Love 2D games, but early on 3D games were not typical, and when you found them, it was like whoa, you know.
3D as in like Mortal Kombat or 3D as in like
No,
actual.
Mortal Kombat was a 2D game. I'm talking 3D as in it had polygons.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
A 3D game.
Okay, I got you. 'Cause
A game in 3 dimensions.
whenever like 3D is mentioned back in the arcade time, for some reason my head always goes back to that holographic game. Was it time travel or something like that?
Time Bandit or
Yeah,
something.
and it was that weird like little tiny hologram with the cowboy. That would pop
Yeah,
up.
I never did get far in that, and I always felt like I got ripped off. Like I was always like, "This is really cool," and then I walked off feeling completely ripped off.
I had no idea what it was
Yeah.
about. Spider-Man the arcade game by Sega was special. I don't remember that one, unfortunately.
I don't know if I know that one either.
Yeah.
To me, it was Smash TV. Smash TV to this day is still a wonderful game. I love Smash TV. Holosseum.
Hallusium? Is that was that what it was?
Holosseum.
Is that what it was called? Maybe, I don't know, but I thought it was like time something. I don't know.
Maybe it was.
Yeah.
I bet it was the machine was that, and then the game was that. So we both of us might be right. Holosseum. That completely sounds familiar. I feel as if the machine said Holosseum, but then the game had a name.
I don't know, look it up.
Yeah, that was the name of the system. Yeah, that sounds right.
gives me a bunch of weird stuff that is not even gonna help.
I did not type these pornographic things at all. Why do these keep popping up?
Well, a bunch of stuff in Japanese pops up, and like some kind of thing about hot chocolate.
I just Googled beaver hammer and all sorts of horrible things showed up.
Time Traveler was the game.
Time
Oh.
traveler.
Oh, thanks, Al. Thanks for stopping in, man.
Yeah, catch you later. As a matter of fact, we're about to close up shop anyway.
Yep.
So y'all have yourself a, good weekend and all that. Even though there's only a day of it left. But what you gonna do?
Well, good to see you, man. Thanks a lot. But yeah,
But-
do the official closing.
Yes, we're gonna do the closing. Whoop, whoop. I'm gonna shimmy that sketchbook, spank it. It's been nasty. It's been
Back
naughty.
it up, flip it, rub it down. Oh no.
Oh yes.
Oh man.
I'm gonna grab it in the biscuits. He just said I was gonna grab them in the Bisquick. What's happening here? All right.
I got a live stream to do later. Oh, cool. All
Yeah,
right.
I hear you.
Yeah, what? Yeah, I'll check. Hopefully, I can check it out, man.
All right. What time is it? Yeah, we gotta be
Almost
closing up shop. So you goals, you goals, you all go. Jeez, have yourself a good week.
I was saying, you turning into Gru there. Hey, Goyles.
My mouth malfunctioned. It did bad. Is your chance to do the hump. All right. You have yourself a good weekend. We will catch you all